Hello, Radiant Leo. Let me ask you something. What if today isn't just another day? What if the very moment you're watching this is the turning point your soul has been waiting for across lifetimes? This is eternal mindfulness, and you've just opened a door. A once-in-1000-year portal is opening for you. And it's not just any opening. It's a whirlwind of luck, of divine timing, and destiny, all swirling toward you now. If something in your heart stirred just now, Leo, take a deep breath. This isn't just a horoscope reading, it's a sacred alignment. You are being invited, not pushed. Drawn, not chased. And above all, you are not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto this video. You were guided. There's a divine orchestration at play, one that's been building behind the scenes of your life for years. And right now, it's reaching a climax. The universe isn't simply granting you luck. It's responding to the quiet fire you've held inside. The one that refused to go out, even when you felt forgotten or delayed. And now, that fire is about to light up everything. May 2025 brings an extraordinary cosmic alignment, a Scorpio full moon, rare planetary support, and most importantly, the activation of Leo's sovereign path. The spotlight is turning to you, Leo, not to entertain, not to prove, but to lead with authenticity, build with purpose, and receive with grace. I want you to pause and feel this deeply. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. And right now, the universe is preparing to meet you halfway. Through unexpected breakthroughs, destiny-altering opportunities, and relationships rooted in true loyalty. Let me take a moment to say this from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for every like, every comment, every share, every new subscription. Each one brings you deeper into our soul family here at Eternal Mindfulness. Your support is what allows these messages to continue reaching those who need them most. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for showing up. But Leo, don't go anywhere just yet. Because I promise you, what the universe is about to reveal in this reading is breathtaking. This isn't surface-level prediction, it's a call to step into your highest self. To rise from anything that tried to dim you. And to finally embody the power, love, and prosperity that have always been waiting for you to say, I'm ready. So now tell me, what magical force, what quiet whisper from your heart, what intuitive nudge brought you here today? If this message already speaks to something deep inside you, I invite you to leave a sacred sign in the comments. Drop any angel number that's been appearing around you lately, 111, 555, 808, or one you feel intuitively. It's not random. It's your soul saying, yes, I hear it too. Let's begin this journey together. Because Leo, this isn't just your season. It's your rebirth. When the stars align in rare formation, and the sky seems to whisper something only the heart can hear, it's never just coincidence, it's timing. And this timing, dear Leo, isn't rushing you. It's inviting you. After everything you've carried, everything you've faced in silence, this moment does not demand that you leap wildly into the unknown. It simply asks that you pause. And listen to what's already stirring inside you. You may notice that this moment doesn't feel dramatic or loud, even though the opportunity is vast. That's because real shifts, the ones that stay with you, often arrive quietly, wrapped in a strange calm that asks for your awareness rather than your reaction. And in that space, transformation begins. The full moon in Scorpio approaching this May brings with it an unusual blend of depth and power, the kind of energy that supports release, not through force, but through clarity. For Leo, this energy resonates particularly strongly, because Scorpio sits in your fourth house, the house of home, foundation, and your most private inner life. It's a time to not only open new doors outwardly but to also walk gently into the rooms within yourself that you may have closed off long ago. This is where your true power lies, not in the performance, not in the applause, but in your relationship with stillness. The fire within Leo does not burn to consume, it burns to warm, to illuminate, to guide. And in this season, your light becomes more than inspiration, it becomes direction. What makes this moment so rare is not just the cosmic alignment, it's that you've finally outgrown the version of yourself who needed to constantly prove your worth. You are no longer here to chase approval. You're here to create something lasting. Something meaningful. Something that reflects your true essence, not your survival instinct. What we often forget is that real growth isn't about adding more. It's about seeing clearly what no longer fits and having the courage to let it fall away. Sometimes what feels like loss is actually an act of refinement. And sometimes, choosing stability over excitement is the most radical form of self-respect. In the same way that a sculptor doesn't build by stacking stone on stone but by gently chiseling away what isn't part of the vision, your life now is asking you to reveal the shape that was always underneath. This isn't about chasing a whirlwind of luck, it's about realizing that when you stand in your own rhythm, when you breathe deeply and walk slowly into the day with intention, life begins to align itself with you. And luck begins to feel like alignment. The outer world mirrors the inner. If you're calm, centered, and committed to what truly matters, then even chaos can pass through your life without knocking you off balance. That's what real power is. Not domination. Not intensity. But consistency, clarity, and care. So perhaps the real door that's opening isn't outside of you, it's the one within, the one you finally feel safe enough to walk through. That's why this time is sacred. Not because the stars are moving, but because you are. Because you're choosing to respond instead of react. To lead yourself with compassion rather than fear. And that shift, subtle, intentional, profound, is the kind of change that alters everything, without needing to explain itself. You feel it, not because it's loud, but because it's true. What appears to be falling apart is often exactly what needs to crumble for something greater to emerge. As we continue from the sacred doorway you've just stepped into, we now reach a moment of revelation, where messages no longer whisper but speak clearly through patterns, symbols, and archetypes. The cards that have shown up for you, Leo, are not random. They are mirrors of your internal reality and road signs for your next evolution. When the tower arrives, it doesn't bring destruction as punishment, it brings truth. It exposes the structures you've been building upon that can no longer hold your expanding vision. This may be uncomfortable, even shocking at first. But there's grace in this collapse. Because the tower does not fall unless what's coming next is more honest, more stable, and more aligned with who you really are. Right after the collapse comes the light. The Sun card is not just a positive omen, it is a cosmic affirmation. And for Leo, this card holds even deeper meaning. It is your card. It is the symbol of your essence, radiant, creative, full of warmth and power. This is a reminder that even when things fall, your light remains. In fact, it shines brighter without all the distractions and expectations clouding your path. The sun doesn't ask you to become someone new. It simply invites you to remember who you've always been, beneath the pressure, the armor, and the noise. Then comes the world, a card of culmination and integration. It tells us that something in your life is completing not as an end, but as a full circle. You are not the same Leo you were last year, or even last month. You've grown. You've endured. And now, life is offering you a fresh cycle built not on illusion, but wisdom. The world reminds you that celebration isn't only for when goals are met, it's for every time you close a chapter with integrity, grace, and self-awareness. This is your graduation. You've earned it. And finally, the Knight of Pentacles arrives, not flashy, not dramatic, but steady. He is the keeper of the long game. He works with patience, groundedness, and consistent effort. For you, Leo, this is the balancing energy you need to anchor all that fire. Passion without purpose burns out quickly. But paired with slow, stable effort, your dreams become durable. This card asks you to honor your rhythm, not society's. To invest in what's real, even when it takes time. Numerology brings deeper layers to this moment. The number 1 encourages bold beginnings, reminding you that a single clear intention can reshape your trajectory. 19, a royal vibration aligned with the sun, reflects your innate leadership and radiance. It's time to reclaim your seat, not to rule over others, but to stand fully in your presence. And 44 is a master builder number, solid, grounded, and future-focused. This number doesn't chase glory, it lays brick by brick the foundation for something that lasts. Now, ask yourself, what do I want to build with this energy? Write down 3 financial goals that truly reflect your values, not just what you want to earn, but what you want to feel from that security. Identify 1 habit that no longer serves your expansion, perhaps it's rushing decisions, avoiding vulnerability, or overgiving. And most importantly, make 1 new promise to yourself, something so aligned that it feels like coming home. The deepest changes don't come from force. They come from clarity, intention, and devotion to the truth. Like a river finding its way through stone, your life is shaping itself around who you are becoming, not because you pushed, but because you finally flowed. When you begin to feel the pressure building in your chest, the kind that doesn't just come from a busy day but from the invisible weight of expectation, you know it's time to pause and listen. For Leo, the heart and chest are not just physical centers, they are emotional barometers. That tightness isn't weakness. It's the body's quiet way of telling you, you're carrying too much that isn't truly yours. And often, it's not the workload that exhausts you, but the performance, the constant need to be strong, composed, impressive. But now, you're being asked to release the armor. Not because you've failed, but because the journey ahead requires a deeper kind of strength, the kind rooted in presence, not persona. Your body wants to breathe freely again. Not in a rushed, survival breath, but in a steady, open rhythm that makes space for clarity. Even 10 minutes of mindful breathing each morning can realign your entire day. Try gentle stretches or heart-opening poses in yoga, not to bend, but to soften. The foods you choose now matter, too. Red and orange tones, watermelon, beets, oranges, are not only nourishing to your system, they subtly reconnect you to your own core vitality, the vibrant Leo flame that might have dimmed under pressure. In your career, the same pattern emerges. If you find yourself in environments where you feel the need to act, to impress, to smile when you're not okay, consider this a moment of truth. There is no lasting success in roles that demand your silence or your performance. And Leo, your gift is your authenticity. You're not here to be a background character in someone else's script. You're here to write your own. If the work you do doesn't allow you to feel aligned, it may be time to gently explore what does. You don't have to burn bridges. But you do need to stop building castles on land that doesn't support you. This isn't about running away. It's about returning to yourself, to your real values, and to the version of success that actually feels meaningful. The question isn't, am I safe here? It's, am I real here? Because safety without authenticity becomes a prison. And Leo doesn't thrive in cages, no matter how gilded. When it comes to money, the shift is subtle but profound. You were never meant to chase wealth just to survive. You were born to create value, to turn vision into something tangible, to own what you build. And right now, the invitation isn't to earn more through harder effort. It's to invest in what actually holds value for you. That may mean choosing quality over quantity, alignment over appearance, long-term peace over short-term status. Imagine asking yourself before every purchase or opportunity, does this make me feel more like myself, or less? Over time, that one question can reshape your relationship with abundance. It stops being about accumulation and becomes a form of energetic stewardship. You're not just managing money, you're tending to the energy of value. And your worth is never up for negotiation. So instead of asking how much you can get, try asking how deeply you can root into what truly matters. Say it with me, not as a mantra but as a declaration of identity. I don't work just to survive. I create value so the world can experience the light within me. In this quiet shift of perspective, a more powerful Leo is born. Not louder. Not busier. Just more whole. And from that wholeness, the right work, the right wellness, and the right wealth naturally begin to orbit around you, like planets drawn to the pull of the sun. Love, for Leo, has never been a surface-level story. It's something felt in the bones, remembered in the breath, and carried in the heat of the chest. But over time, even the most generous heart learns this truth. Not everyone is meant to stay, not because they are wrong, but because your path is becoming more true. And when your life starts to align more deeply with who you are, not everyone will choose to walk beside you at that pace. Some will pause. Some will part. Some will return later. And some will simply bless your journey by exiting it. If you're currently walking alone, know that solitude does not mean emptiness. For Leo, it is often in stillness that the soul resets its magnetism. You don't need to chase love. You were never meant to. The more you embody the steady warmth of someone who knows their worth, the more the right energy finds you naturally. It's like a fire in the forest. It doesn't ask anyone to come closer, it simply burns, and those who are cold will find their way to it. Your only task now is to keep your flame pure, not to make it louder. And if you're in a relationship, this season is a gentle yet profound invitation to pause and look together in the same direction. Not every couple breaks from conflict. Some grow apart quietly, like paths that once touched but now veer. It doesn't always hurt loudly. Sometimes it's just the realization that your dreams are no longer mirrored in the eyes across from you. And if you find that to be true, it isn't a failure, it's awareness. Sit with your partner. Ask the harder questions. Not, what are we now, but, what are we becoming? And most importantly, do we still want to build in the same direction? Certain connections may dissolve in the coming weeks, especially those that have lingered in the space between clarity and confusion. And yes, it might sting. The goodbye that wasn't loud, the closure that never came. But you are not meant to carry unfinished stories forward. Release them with love, even if you never receive the ending you hoped for. Letting go is not the same as giving up. It is making space for the relationships that are truly ready to meet you at your full light. And one of those connections is already on its way. Not the kind that flares hot then fades, but one that feels like a homecoming. This future companion, be it a lover, a soulmate, or a kindred friend, will recognize you not by what you say or do, but by how safe they feel in your presence. This kind of bond doesn't require constant proving. It breathes, quietly. It supports without smothering. It lets you shine without fear of being outshone. To welcome this energy, try something beautifully simple. Write a letter to your future companion, as if they're already here. Tell them how your day went. What you're learning. What kind of partnership you're building, together. Not a wish, but a conversation. This isn't about fantasy. It's about aligning your emotional frequency with the connection you want to experience. When you start showing up for love before it arrives, the universe quietly starts arranging its arrival. And if the letter brings tears, let them fall. That is your heart softening its edges, not breaking. That is your soul beginning to believe that yes, true connection, grounded and luminous, is not only possible, it's near. When we've done the deep inner work, released old patterns, allowed endings to unfold, and recentered in what matters, what comes next is not waiting, but welcoming. This is the point where intention begins to take form. And for Leo, a sign born to embody light, the act of consciously inviting in blessings is not about control, but clarity. There is power in simple rituals, not because they change the universe, but because they change our relationship with the moment. A clear space becomes a clear mind. A lit candle becomes a gentle signal that you are ready to be seen, not for performance, but for presence. Start with your space. It doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to reflect intention. When you clear the clutter, you're not just organizing objects, you're releasing energetic noise. And when you place orange and yellow flowers near a white candle in the window, you're not decorating, you're creating a quiet altar of alignment. Each night, as you sit with that gentle flame and whisper, I am ready for my light to be seen, and for prosperity to flow to me, you are not begging the universe for change. You are affirming your readiness to receive what you've already become. The 7 days that follow this act of opening are not about intensity. They're about consistency. Each day holds a small step that deepens your embodiment of the energy you've called in. Day 1, revisit your personal finances, not to judge, but to reconnect. Where your money goes reveals what you believe you're worthy of. What would it mean to spend, save, and invest as someone who honors their own light? Day 2. Let go of one energy-draining habit. This might be overcommitting, doom scrolling, or self-criticism. Choose one. Release it with care, not force. Notice the space it leaves behind. On the 3rd day, reach out to someone from your past who once made you feel safe and seen. Not everyone will respond, and that's okay. The act of reconnecting realigns you with the part of you that felt supported, and sometimes that memory alone is enough to restore faith. Day 4. Commit to learning one new skill that reflects your inner values. It doesn't have to be grand. Even reading for 30 minutes about something that expands your practical value is an act of self-devotion. Then take a pause. Day 5. Step away from the noise. Turn off your phone for a few hours. Let your nervous system settle. Let yourself hear your own thoughts again. The world will still be there when you return, but you'll be different, softer, clearer, more available to receive. Day 6. Choose something you love, a book, a scarf, a keepsake, and give it away with warmth. You're not losing it. You're completing its cycle with you. This is not about sacrifice. It's about making room for reciprocity, for the movement of value through your life rather than stagnation. And finally, each night, for 7 nights, write down 3 things that made you feel abundant. Not rich, abundant. It might be the way your tea tasted. The way your body felt after a walk. The way someone looked at you when you spoke your truth. Gratitude is not a spiritual cliché. It is a shift in perception so profound, it changes what you attract, because it changes who you are in the receiving. This is your invitation, Leo, not to strive harder, but to realign more gently. To act, not with urgency, but with devotion. To trust that each small gesture is not meaningless, but part of a larger pattern quietly weaving your next chapter into being. You don't have to wait for magic, Leo, you are the magic. Every word you've just heard, every breath you've taken while listening, has been a gentle reminder of something your soul has always known. You were never meant to dim, only to remember. This moment, this reading, wasn't meant to give you permission. It was meant to reflect the truth you already carry inside. The tower fell so your light could shine. The sun returned to bless your courage. The world completed a cycle you've outgrown. And the Knight of Pentacles now walks beside you, steady, reliable, reminding you that what you're building matters, especially when it's built on truth. You've been called, not by chance, but by alignment. Each section of this journey, your body's quiet messages, your heart's readiness to love without chasing, your soul's clarity in choosing work that reflects who you truly are, has led you back to this point. And now, the ritual becomes real. Not as a performance, but as a practice. It lives in the way you breathe deeper tonight, in the way you clear your space tomorrow, and in the way you write those simple affirmations that tell the universe, I remember who I am. So let me ask you something real. What are you choosing? Familiar comfort or aligned truth? What if the next 7 days weren't just another week, but a sacred return to yourself? What if slowing down, letting go, and practicing intentional gratitude was enough to change everything? You don't need to yell to be heard. You just need to live in a way that reflects your inner light. The kind of light that doesn't chase, it attracts. The kind of fire that doesn't burn out, it steadies, it glows, it leads. If any part of your heart stirred today, if something felt like it was meant for you, don't let that moment slip away. Anchor it. Claim it. Speak it into form. In the comments below, write this affirmation as your personal vow. I, Leo, am ready to reclaim the power and prosperity my soul has long awaited. Not for attention. Not for approval. But because this is the moment you've been preparing for, sometimes quietly, sometimes painfully, but always faithfully. And if you felt seen, heard, or held in any part of this message, I invite you to show your support with a like. It tells the algorithm, yes, but more than that, it tells the universe, I'm listening, and I'm ready. If you know someone, a friend, a sister, a fellow seeker, who needs to hear this too, share this video with them. You never know how deeply one small spark can change another person's path. I want to thank you, genuinely, for being here with me and with yourself. Every view, every comment, every moment you spend investing in your light helps this channel, Eternal Mindfulness, continue to grow and reach others who are searching for exactly what you've just found. I don't take that lightly. And neither should you. So stay with me. Stay with yourself. Because Leo, your light isn't just returning, it's expanding. And I promise you, this is just the beginning.